guys, it's being Pikmin Master 123 here with another Starcraft replay. And today, we're doing a very interesting one. So, the team I'm on has 2 Terrans and me as a Zerg and another person that's a Zerg. The other team is full-on Terran armies. Now let's start the video and... yeah. This is a very back and forth game. We got some early Terran plays of defense right here, making a little defensive line. Our teammate is moving out 2 of his SCVs now. Pretty early barracks compared to, actually, sort of early barracks compared to our teammates. I go straight away with the spawning pool. And they are signaling to their teammate to barricade this part. And our teammate is building 2 proxy barracks, meaning he's able to attack this area right away. And this teammate of them is having to take over and defend this area because he's not doing anything. And he left the game. This is a very early on thing that really helps us win. Well, it helps us to be able to win. Because his teammates are now taking over. And pretty much they only use his base as like a supply base. Even though they're giving an engineering base and stuff. Our teammate also duplicates the barracks to make it a 4 times proxy barracks right next to their base. And right now they're not really doing much. They build a pretty fast factory compared to the other my teammates back here, who also has a factory going on but he got it out before the teammates. He finally gets a spawning pool. The reason is he focused on getting these 2 side bases, which is a very smart job. Oh, that's just part of the map. I go for a second hatchery right after I get the spawning pool, giving me a little bit of circling. And then he goes for 6 barracks. This is a very unusual play for the beginning. But it also gives him an upper edge to be able to attack this area using 6 barracks. But also the bad part is, it lets them get these factories up. Pretty quick. But because of all the resources they're spending, it's going to take them a while to be able to get anything. And he gets a seeds tank extremely quick. However, it's not going to be quick enough because this guy is sending all of his units to go attack. Meanwhile, I got 2 queens and just getting some stuff in general. He goes straight for a starport, and then it's getting up that fusion core for the battle cruisers. Here's that nice tank play, but it comes too late. They already took down 2 of the barracks, and the 3rd barracks is almost destroyed. Now they're coming up here to harass the workers, and also the buildings around them. This really sets back this guy's economy. taking out a ton of their workers. And now he's sieging up to do damage, but it will also do damage to the building and units around it. So it does have a little bit of its own fire. And then he moves his tank out here, which it is more powerful like that, except like they do have that fire damage when it sieges up, but it is much more powerful in general. And here I come in with my group of Zerglings. That is one siege tank dead, and here's the second one. Second siege tank in general. And I'm now getting hammered by this siege tank. And then my Zerglings went into that siege tank, leaving one alive. And he stays alive right here for a while. My other teammate pretty much just pumping out more and more units, one at a time, which is smart in case these get attacked, you can move them away. Back at the home front, I get Baneling. I don't know why I get this, I never really use Banelings. I should start though, it really depends on the mats. I get the Roach one in this, don't really use that. What do I need to... Oh, that's like straight away. I don't even really need the red one at that point. But, as you saw there, he goes straight for that battle cruiser and he's building it up. And here's the already built battle cruiser up in this little corner. Also, the teammate has sent all of his barracks back, afterwards destroying a small detail of a tank and some units. And he goes to place them all over here. The other Zerg players going straight for a Nidus Worm, double chamber to upgrade the missile, ground attacks, and the Carpus. And he also gets the Hydralisk in. Very smart plays, because he is getting all these guys, the Hydralisks, which are very good units. Yeah, that's my Zergling. It just died. The enemy bases. This guy is moving over and transitioning to swords now. Looks like he's going a tech play. This guy's going a tech and non-tech play. And he is now getting double starports, and he does not seem to have fusion core. And also this guy, yeah, they don't even care about this base very much. They use their own, because it is quicker that way, and you can press F2 to select all your units. And I get the Hydralisk bin open. I also do some other things, but that's not really important. He now has double starports with the ability to get battle cruisers. And he quickly got the battle cruiser Yamato cannon online. Also a nice starport over here. However, they are in view distance of each other. And another one must be reactor right there. Yeah, this guy is pretty much spamming these units. And one of his units got stuck. That's sad. This guy's moving more towards the tech range. Getting in Cyclone with the lock-on ability. Which is extremely good if you have the order. And he's now using his 2 battle cruisers to sort of lay waste to the space. However, he's getting the starport online and building a bunch of Vikings, which really does not help. and he safely warps him back to base. Meanwhile, the Zerg player has put a Nidus Swarm in the middle of their base, and got a good number of Hydralisks to come out, destroying Blackazilla's base. Meanwhile, they got 2 buildings that they really can't have to use. They're sort of gonna have to destroy this. Also, their overseer, is trying to get out of range, but they aren't really controlling him. He goes down to the Viking. And then I built a back base over here during that entire time when they had their army here. They are now sending a stream of tanks and Marines, along with 2 Vikings, which is not the best strategy. However, it allows them to lay waste to this base again, also allowing them to destroy this sword, and also allowing them to destroy the command center, which really puts the guy back, and also he's destroying all the factories, which again is gonna hurt them very badly. All the guys' swords get back though, and they're not gonna have a fun time with that. However, their tactical jump is on cooldown, so he's gonna have to fly them out of their movement. However, this leaves me open to attack, and I eventually go down. This round I did not prepare by placing more hatcheries, and I end up not using that unit anymore. However, if we spectate me, I actually take over our Uday's unit, who left the game, and I use his barracks to pump out a constant stream of Marines. And I turn my entire army into Marines. And I pretty much quit doing all the Zerg because it's just not gonna work out. It's gonna take too long to rebuild. So instead, I switch over to this. So if you see Uday's units, that is actually me, not Uday. Cross is now using his battle cruisers to scout, figuring they have that nice tactical jump. For some reason, he's not using his workers to heal his units. And he rebuilt that starport over there. And here are all of Uday's units, which I am controlling. And it's harder to control because you can't press F2 and get all the units at the same time. Also, both sides, people on both sides have pinged this area down here. Our team wants to capture it, and the other team wants to see if we have used it at all. But they have eventually rebuilt their base and are trying to get up some factories, which waste a lot of their resources and time. Unfortunately, we didn't destroy a lot of their supply depots, which could hinder their growth a lot. I'm using Uday's troops right here and moving them just out of their sensor range so they can't actually know that I'm there. And now our teammate is attacking this area, and I used that nice distraction to pull down and attack their base. And I also end up using the stim pack so I can get extra damage in. End up taking out the sensor relay, a couple of their workers, and a bunch of their units. Meanwhile, we have the 2 battle cruisers coming over and destroying even more of their workers, taking out a lot of this base, and then destroying a couple of anti-air defenses. mean, overall, the spending's actually pretty good. Units lost. Uday has lost the most units, but in resource counts, JSJ drums, which I think is this guy. No, I think... Is it... Which one is that? Oh, this guy. Has lost a ton of money. Black is he pretty much left the game, so he doesn't really count. In upgrade form, Uday has a bunch of good stuff for just basic Marines. And as you can see here, Jet Li has fully maxed out his, Hydralisks, pretty much. And if we look at the units, I don't really care about mine, but for Uday, we have a nice 49 Marine Army along with some Marauders. And then we have 64 Hydralisks over there, 6 battlecruisers. And looking at this, the Marines, I think they sort of count out, except, I think, yeah, these are just a little bit better than it. The swords are very... I wouldn't say they're good anti-air units. They're sort of poopy against anti-air, but against ground, they're good against other swords and other tech units, but they also have a little bit of splash damage, so I guess it could be used to take out Marines. Also, those tanks are gonna be dangerous, except in this little attack right here. The tank doesn't even fire. But if we look at everyone's resource count, these are focusing on not using their resources very much, same as this Jet Li. But besides that, everything's looking good. My base is yet again getting attacked, but it doesn't really matter, figuring I'm using these guys. So that splash really destroyed the army, but we did get a couple of their swords. I sort of tried to save these units. I don't know if I made these into a unit or not. I think they just sort of died. Yeah, if they're off of creep, they die. However, Jet Li comes down and cleans it all up. And he takes all of his swords and tries to attack, which... against an army of Hydralisks. Yeah. Not the smartest move. Also, they do have the, they have anti-air equipped right now, actually. And then they have explosive payload, which splash damage to air units. But then you have the more powerful anti-air, which does not do as splash. Yeah. Does not do very good against splash. So yeah. Right here is a major mistake in their plan. Here I'll have to rewind it a little bit for you guys. But so if we fast forward this a little bit, here starts coming his Marines. And then he starts getting tanks. And here's that deadly encounter. He loses all of his Marines and a great number of his air support units. Here we start losing a lot. I'm Uday, by the way. I don't think I actually built these, but I am using them. So pretty much, we're just trying to blast through this base at the moment. And we end up taking out the base, which also has a good number of minerals left too. And here is where Jet Li comes in. Unknowingly, if we look at our upgrades, Jet Li also gets Zerg melee attacks. And if you see, it says Ground Carpus 3, which is very helpful for the Ultralisks. And they're immune to snare, stun, mind control, and movement altering effects. Which means that they're very powerful late game Zerg elite units. Although in most situations they're not so good, but because the Zerg player has been saving up a ton of resources, it allows him to build a large number of these and to fill in the lines when they die. Also, they can survive a lot of hits. 500 health, and they're pretty good against siege tanks. This allows him, also, whoever is spamming Marines here, all of the Marines are pretty much getting killed by all the Ultralisks. And then, yeah, it just allows him to create a big mess everywhere. Especially on the supply line. And for some reason the chat goes wild out of nowhere. But yeah, now that the Ultralisks have started dying off, you'll see what this is in a second, but he's been using his queens to spawn larvae constantly. Also, more Ultralisks, by the way. And here is Uday with all of his units. Well, I'm controlling him at this moment, but yeah. And most of the units have been sent in general. But, yeah, all of the units coming in from the Zerg are pretty much just Ultralisks, so he's just spawning wave after wave of them. Along with some Hydralisks, which is a pretty good move. But another good move on the Terran's part is they got a good amount of Liberators, which do a lot of damage to the ground. But because of the mass amount of Marines, it sort of mitigates that effect. They took out a couple of Ultralisks, but he still has plenty of money to spare. And the enemy's areas are not looking good at all. Most of their production lines were destroyed, and any left over are about to be destroyed. They got these two medivacs, but that's not gonna help at all. He's trying to desperately train a couple of units, but I don't think they're gonna do anything. But he's now building a ton of Widow Mines. Probably in the effort to be annoying as possible. And Widow Mines are very annoying. In general. Especially to a large group of units. Figuring that the Zerg aren't really a large group of units at this point, it's not going to be too effective, but they do deal a lot of damage in general, so yeah, here's the 3 units going to take on the 1 unit. yeah. And these do deal actually a good amount of damage, these Widow mines. And the siege tank is not helping, but then I send in this. And that's like the cleanup job right there. He sent in his anti-air just to take out this little area and some of the Vikings that he's spawning in. But it really ain't gonna do much. He also had a bunch of Liberators down here, but Liberators are actually very weak anti-air. I mean, they're good against low health and air, but... And here's my units coming in through here. And yeah, we pretty much get the victory screen, and that is the end. Now let's take a quick look at the battlefield. No base here. They had a ton of saved minerals that they never used. This is one fault. You always want to use your resources if you can, as fast as you can. I had a good amount of minerals left too, but I also used up all of our teammates' minerals were also used up, because it first uses your teammates' minerals to left the game, and then here's your own minerals, I just kept this up so that I get more. He had a pretty good area going on here, and then my entire team pretty much focused there. Besides this dude, the Terrans pretty much focused battle cruisers at that point. But yeah, this is a pretty nice base here. Brought back his battle cruiser to defend against it, and it wasn't a good attack at all. There were hardly any units. One very useful unit, but it's not really used. It would be good against this attack. Like if it had a good defense. Is this base, the Planetary Fortress. That's actually a good upgrade to use for frontier bases. It means it can't lift off and move away from an enemy attack, but it does spend time attacking the attacking forces, which means that you could probably get some units out of there and cut your losses. But it's also another strat is when you use a planetary fortress, build like 2 or 3 of them next to an enemy, and then lift them off and plant them right next to your enemy's base. Which it's a very smart move, especially if you use normal. You have to use normal ones, but if you fill it with units and then do a airdrop on the area, it can become very overpowered quickly. But yeah, guys, this is gonna be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye.